Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, I just wanted to put to rest a little bit of controversy and disagreement that we caused by publishing or posting our video of how we helped some kids who were required to pay a certain amount of money before they could take their tests. And talking to Beth was not surprised by this at all. It was not, let's deal with some of the things about what it was not. It was not anybody trying to extort money. It was not anybody trying to make a little on the side. It wasn't us being taken advantage of. I was not the rich American who could pay. It wasn't any of that. And it wasn't any cheating that was being done on the part of the teachers, okay? Now, it is true that the education system in high school is free. Now, so if it's free, your question, and quite rightly so, is why were they having to pay money in order to be able to take a test that is part of the education system, which is supposedly free? Well, this is the story on that. Is that even though the education is free, parents, in order to be part of the system, in order to be part of that education community, are sometimes asked if they would like to participate in raising money. So the picture that I get is, according to Beth, is that the principal will ask for parents to come in and they'll have a chat. Now, just
have a meeting.
All right, have a meeting. I said it was a chat. I should have said it was a meeting. Yes, dear. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And?
Yeah, it's just like no, because this is my understanding, okay? Yeah, it covered me, darling. Yeah. Oh my God. I have no...
Never mind the fashion stuff, okay? Just give the info. Can you imagine if I go on here and go, oh my God, look at my eyebrows.
Yeah, this is you know, when I was in high school, you know, we know that this is because there's a lot of commenting. Why is it you've been paying that kind of, you know, that it's free in high school, elementary? Yes, it's free. You know, it just happened that it's not totally, you know, because there's still some parents' contribution. For example, because at the beginning of the year, or every month or every other month, the teacher or the principals they call it a PTCA meeting, you know, the parents meeting, they call the parents, yeah, parents and teachers meeting, and they will say, you know, what about we do some projects for the school, you know, for example, we want to make a fence on that area, you know, so they don't have budget in school on that, you know, so what they did is they said, oh, how about as a pair, how about we do a contributions, you know, as contributions on how much to raise so that we could able to fence on that area, so that we could able to cement that area. You know, that's why there's some fundraising. For example, Nutrition Month. There are some United Nations months, you know, where every student in that classroom was been able to have a participations as a representative, and then whoever the winner will base on how much they raise, because by that they could able to make some projects in their school. So same with what happened in that school that we paid for 117 pesos each students. They paying 117 pesos. But if there are 3 sisters or brothers in that school, only one will pay. So in other words,
okay.
Even if you got 3 kids there, only one, the parents only paid 1 student. The rest, the 2 are free. And then it will be covered for the whole school year. You know, because that's it's like a contributions of the parents' contributions. And at the same time, there are 50 pesos, you know, maybe I don't know what's the project's all about, that they want to raise that. But it's totally free in high school, in elementary, but there are still little contributions for small projects that the school wants to implement.
Okay, so let me see if I've got that right. So in other words, the teachers and the principal will have called in parents, and parents will be come in and they'll have it put to them that project A needs to have a certain amount of money. And then they, from what Beth told me off camera, she said the principal may then say, hands up those who would agree to say 50 pesos, and that would be the agreement. And then they would say 50 pesos, and let's say that there were 50 people, the 50 parents that were there, and they were each going to pay 50 pesos. So that sum of money would then be put to, in Beth's example, putting a piece of fence up and some concrete work. Okay, now they pledge that money. They don't hand that money over out of their pocket right at that moment, but they've pledged that that will go into the yearly financial budget. All right, so now they're going to be looking to 50 parents who have put their name to that project, and they're going to be looking to them for 50 pesos. So let's assume that 10 of those parents do not come up with that 50 pesos. When it comes to taking the kids taking their exam, the principal says, well, you did agree to pay 50 pesos for that project, so you are pledged on that, on your honor, on your word, and we have gone ahead and had the project done on the basis of your word, so you need to pay the 50 pesos. And that's when you have a debt to honor. It's a debt to honor rather than a fee. That was my misunderstanding. I didn't know that until Beth just explained it to me now. But I did understand that people are saying, well, education is free. Well, yes, the only problem is that little bit of fencing and the concrete work. That's not free. Okay, so the more that parents are tied up and included in these projects, the more they agree to do pay-ups. Now, you've had good example of that. If you followed our videos, you've had good example of that, where in the case of Taliklik was, I don't know, Miss Fashion or something, and then RJ was also Jessica's son, and he had another title, and Balalu had another title. How do they get those titles? Everybody gets a shot at having their little bit of fame on stage. Okay, so it's a parent ego thing, because somehow I don't think that any of those kids give a stuff about whether they're on stage or not. In fact, if you looked at Bachoy, he looked like he was fed up with the whole thing. So let's say that it's the parents' ego, and they agree that they will pledge a certain amount of money. Now, I've been to one of those things where they actually put the money into the box at the last moment, and it's a parents and teachers meeting, and then the ego-seeking parents who want something for their kid to enjoy, some little moment of fame or something that's good for their confidence or whatever the reason, they get their chance to secure the title, whatever the title is. Miss Nutrition. Taliklik went in for Miss United Nations, and they make up these things, and actually they are great, because they bring in all of the teachers, all of the students. It's a big event. They have judges, local celebrities of a sort will come in and support that thing, and they can raise quite a bit of money, because some of the kids actually go to their extended family and they get 1, 2, 3,000 pesos or more, and that's what they put in as what they have raised. And if it's more than anybody else, they get to be Miss United Nations or Mr. Nutrition or whatever whatever the title is, they get to do that. And I suppose in a way it does help with confidence, because they have to go up on stage. They have to say, I am so-and-so, and this is what I believe about life. And I get that they get coached on that, of course, as well. So we're not talking about some kind of scam. We're not talking about things where we should be calling up Mr. Duterte's hotline of 8888. It's nothing like that. It's a case of you haven't got the full information. And now, if you watch this video, you will have the information. It is something which parents have agreed to, and in the case of the few children, the few students that you saw, apparently it would have to be assumed that they had failed to honour that pledge. All that we did was, for a couple of dollars each, we honoured that pledge, so that the kids could go in and get signed off on having met their pledges. And that's all that it was to it. So hope that this clears up a few.
It's not a tuition fee, it's a contribution fees.
You didn't even see my lips move then, did you? It's
but thank
not.
you to all the concerned.
What?
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and God bless.
I was a little bit out of sync there, wasn't I? So it's a contribution on the part of the parents. And sometimes they're a little bit strapped when it comes up, and then everybody's embarrassed. Well, we got over that, we dealt with it, and all for less than, I think, $18 or $20. Wasn't a really big deal, was it? Thanks for looking in. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. And oh, by the way, it's as hot as hell here right now.